30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and Young Guns Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. There we go. I couldn't hear me for a minute. Welcome in. We got a good show for you this afternoon that got spiced up a little bit by Aaron Rodgers. Imagine that. Boy, there's a big surprise. A lot of things happening. Let's get right to it. Let's start up on the plateau and say hello to Coach Watson Brown. Watson, how are you?
George, I'm doing great. It's probably a good thing you can't hear yourself sometimes, you know?
Wow. You know, you ended yesterday with some cheap shots that, by the way, were hysterical.
By the way, true.
Your synopsis of my Yale Vandy.
I mean, my gracious alive. We go through a 5-minute dissertation.
But you know what?
Why Vanderbilt is going to beat Yale by more than 4. Duh.
Well, if it was that easy, why didn't you go to Vegas and bet it?
I don't bet.
Well, this would be a good time to.
I don't even know how. You'd have to sit me down and show me how to bet.
Yeah.
I don't.
You just say, I want Vandy -4.
That's all you do?
That's all you got to do. They'll take your money.
And then tell them the number, right? On what you bet.
Number, please. Billy, what's going on?
George, not much. It's contrasting colors here. You guys look like a couple of Kansas City Chiefs fans. Watson's got a little bit of maroon style, but
you know, in mine, which is
dark red. Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's dark red, but it shows up kind of orange.
It does.
Yeah. Television.
It looks a little orange.
Yeah.
Maybe it's our lighting in here.
Could be. So get ready to start reading a bunch of.
I'm ready.
A bunch of Aaron's quotes.
We've got a lot. Real quick though, little March Madness update before we dive into all of the Aaron Rodgers stuff. Had a couple of really good games last night in Dayton. Texas A&M Corpus Christi beats SEMO 75-71. That team advances to play Alabama now. So good luck to them.
Yes, we wish them the very best on their trip out of Birmingham.
Pittsburgh beats Mississippi State last night, 60-59. We'll talk more, of course, about that later.
What a dud.
And tonight,
more time on the Pittsburgh Mississippi State game than he did that Vanderbilt Yale game. He should have analyzed that Pittsburgh Mississippi State game a little more.
Yeah, that was
less on the Yale Vanderbilt.
Let's put a new policy together right now. Turn his mic off. What do we got?
Well, George, tonight, Fairleigh Dickinson and Texas Southern tonight as well. And
I know I can't wait for that one.
The winner of that one will play Purdue, so good luck to them as well.
Are these on True TV?
True TV, yep.
What is True TV?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't even know what they show on that channel.
The only thing I know they show is NC2A basketball.
That's all we know.
Because according to Aaron Rodgers, the Packers would not be part of True TV.
Yeah, David, do you know what they show on True TV at all?
I have no idea.
Only time I watch is March Madness. So
yeah.
But Nevada and Arizona State, good one tonight. And I'm sure you'll be interested in that one as well.
Wonderful.
Later,
let's get to Aaron Rodgers.
George is excited for this Aaron Rodgers stuff. And Watson, I know you're aware, earlier today on the Pat McAfee show, Rodgers said that he intends to play for the New York Jets this season. He said he made that decision on Friday, and he's not holding up a trade, which still isn't finalized. The two teams and Rodgers remain in contact as they try to work through the final stages of a potential deal, which would include restructuring Rodgers' contract and agreeing on trade compensation. So there's still a lot to be done, but Rodgers wants to be a Jet.
Okay, in his diatribe today with McAfee, he seemed upset that the Packers had suddenly changed course and no longer, were in love with him. Watson, don't you think? Yeah, duh. I mean, they agreed a year ago to pay him $60 million, and then at the end of the year, he starts all the BS again. And including the visit to the Osama bin Laden, darkness cave. Do you know he said that he was 90% committed to retirement before he went in that cave? I don't believe that for a
I
minute.
don't believe that. No,
60
I don't.
million?
I'm with you. I don't. There's no way he was quitting this year. No way.
Okay, so Watson, in the compensation world right now, given the fact that he's 39 years old, I'm not questioning that the man can flat out play. He can. He's a royal pain in the butt. We all know that. But what is the right compensation for him?
Boy, I think whatever the Jets do, they're taking a big chance, don't you? I mean, I would do it. If I'm the Jets, I would do this. But I think it's a big chance. I don't know what the compensation could be. What would it have been for Tom Brady last year? That didn't happen because he was a free agent. But what would it have been? I think it'd have been pretty big.
But Rodgers today is better than Brady was at
45 or 44,
yeah.
what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll go there.
Really?
Well, I take that back. Last year, the year that he came out and they won the Super Bowl, I don't think he's better than Tom was then. When Tom first went to the Bucs, I think Tom was still pretty daggum good. Now I think all the junk that Tom went through made his year a lot worse this year, and he didn't play up to his standards because he went through a lot. And it's not just divorce. There's a lot of stuff he went through, and
crypto stuff.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of different things, and a lot of money that he lost through that time, and so I don't think Aaron Rodgers was as good as Tom Brady 2 years ago. No.
Okay, Billy, what's the story on cap stuff where the Packers would be better off stalling the Jets for a while? Am I right about that?
I'm not sure, George. I have his comments up here. I don't know if David has the latest there. I mean, I can research that.
I think I'm right that the Packers, if they were to hold off making all this happen, like until June, the cap hit is somewhat smaller than it would be now.
Well, they may hit the Jets for some of that money too. There might be some money change hands through even all that. I don't know. That's interesting. Right. I hadn't heard that one.
Right now, if Rodgers remained on their roster, he would be 14% of their cap hit. His cap hit would be $31.6 million.
That's significant.
Yeah. He has an option bonus on his contract for $14.5 million. I think it's if he's on the roster by opening weekend, he gets that bonus. So
yeah, but he's not going to be on Green Bay's roster.
So I think that
opening day,
they're going to have to find a way to restructure that part of that contract, is what I'm saying, because he's probably going to want that money. So just depending on if the Jets are willing to take on that compensation.
Watson, why do you think he made a decision at some point near the end of last season to go back to Diva World and to do all this darkness crap in the Osama bin Laden cave and, you know, all this, I don't know. What do you think really went on that had him go from, I'll take your 60 million to I want out of here?
I don't know, George. I think that's a great question. And only Aaron Rodgers knows that. And I don't know that he's telling anybody what it is, because he'll say anything to appease whatever. But I took up for Aaron the year before.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they had not been good in bringing the right kind of people in to make them Super Bowl contenders and make the offense be as good as it could be. I took up for him. And toward the end, it got a little old, but I took up for him. This year, I don't take up for him at all, because the Packers gave him what he wanted financially. I don't know if they gave him what he wanted in teammates, but they gave him what he wanted financially. And then he pops up as soon as the year's over and does it again. And I think that's why the Packers turned. I personally do. I don't think they think he can't play anymore. I think they just said, throw my hands up, man. I can't do anymore.
Yeah.
And that's why I worry about the Jets. Don't give in to him. Don't give in to him when he walks in the door. Lay the law down and say, here's the way it's going to be. And because the ball's really in the Jets' court. Aaron goes in there and he pulls the same stunts with the Jets that he pulled with the Packers. He's going to turn everybody off. Everybody. He'll turn the whole NFL off on him. And so he's got to be on a little better behavior to me, George, as he comes out of this. And so I think the Jets are sitting in a pretty place. But if they come in with this all huggy-dory, do what you want, every blah, 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 then it ain't going to work. I know how the Bucks did it with Tom Brady. They went so far, and I know because of friends on that staff, they went so far, but there was a point where, no, the law is this now. We're not going past this. I think they let him be majorly involved in the offense. I think they let him have a little bit of say-so on who they brought in because they brought Gronk in. They brought in Antonio Brown, which was totally Brady people. But I think in the building, he wasn't just completely everything. And I think I'll give Bruce Arians credit for that. And this year, it might not have been as strong. I don't know. But I know when he first came in, he did not have total run of the building. And that's what they need to do with Aaron Rodgers. Give him some rope, but don't give him total run of the building.
See if you would buy this. If you polled all the people who buy NFL tickets, most of which would be season tickets, and the question were, are you tired of Aaron Rodgers' act? Don't you think it'd be more than 80% would say yes?
I was going to say conservative 80-20. Conservative 80-20, which means it's probably more than that. The true Aaron Rodgers fan is going to put up with anything. But I think the rest of the fans, the league itself, the other teams, they're all just saying, man, enough's enough here. I don't want to listen to it anymore. The Jets, I get it. I take up for the Jets. People saying, why are they doing this? They got the team right now. They need a quarterback. And I think they're being smart by going for it.
Yeah, they got him one.
Before they even went to Derek Carr, I would have taken Aaron Rodgers first.
So the Jets have to restructure their contracts now in order to fit Rodgers' contract into their salary cap. They only have $12.8 million in estimated cap left. And that's not bringing in all the pieces that Rodgers wanted to come along with them, like Mercedes Lewis, Randall Cobb, or even Odell Beckham Jr. They don't have enough operating room even to sign their draft class coming up. So they're going to have to restructure some deals. You know, Quinnen Williams is a big part of their defense. He's going to want a new contract after next year. So Rodgers is kind of putting them into the dilemma of they need to let some people go. Maybe like Corey Davis is due $10 million this year.
So, yeah, but a lot of those he's talking about bringing in are not a lot of money, guys.
Well, Odell's asking
Randall
for
Cobb's
$20
not
million
a big amount of money. The tight end's not a lot of big amount of money. I mean, I don't know what Odell Beckham. I would be shocked if they do that one. I'd just be shocked if they went there.
So let me ask this question before we get off of this for now, because obviously it'll keep coming up. Are the Jets today the equivalent of Buffalo if they have Aaron Rodgers? I'm not convinced they are.
If Aaron Rodgers is right, they are. If Aaron Rodgers is right.
Equal to Buffalo.
Yes. I think the Jets' defense is that good, and Aaron Rodgers can, and some pieces that they're starting to put together, Aaron Rodgers can be that guy. He can do what Brady does within a year's time. He can do that, in my opinion, if he's right. But if he's in this wishy-washy dark room, all that junk,
the Osama cave.
This deal to me, guys, is true feast or famine. If this don't work, it's going to be awful. The poor Jet. I don't know that you could get on the Jets more than we have through the years. Yeah, we can. Because if this thing don't work, but if it does, and they're good enough to be playing there late to get to the Super Bowl, then I see it as total feast or famine. And if I'm the Jets, I would have gone for it.
Watson, if you're the Jets, what do you do with Zach Wilson, who's still under contract for 2 more years?
Send him to BYU.
They're done with him.
Trade him. Trade him. Now, he's not a ton of money probably because he's still on his rookie contract, right?
But you got to clear up as much space as possible, though.
I would go find me a different backup. I wouldn't want those two together. I just wouldn't want it.
That's bad news.
He's what we call collateral damage.
Yeah, collateral damage. There you go.
So real quick, this year Zach Wilson's cap hit would be $9.5 million.
Send him to BYU. You know,
somebody will take him. Believe me,
Yeah.
trade him
quick. Okay, after the break, I'm going to say something. Billy, why did you look at me like that?
We've got a lot of other stuff to get to, George.
Like what?
Oh, we've got a lot of other moves. I mean,
we're going to do those at 2:40.
Okay. Well, there is an update on John Morant. He's going to be suspended for 8 games without pay for conduct detrimental to the league.
Is
so
that how long you figure he'll be in rehab? That's about right, I bet.
Yeah. He's at a crossroads.
Yeah,
Their franchise is at a crossroads.
I hope they help that young man.
Yeah.
I do. I hope they help him.
Watson, after the break, you're going to hear something come out of my mouth that you don't hear very often.
Oh, good gracious.
You might be right, and I might be wrong.
Oh, good gracious. I don't know that I've ever heard that.
Yes. Pete Weber will join us perhaps to confirm. You need to stick around.
Where you're headed now.
Yeah, we're breaking new ground. This is the George Plaster Show.
How am I going to get to work? My car's totaled.
Skylar, our team is making a call right now. We'll get you a rental car. Don't worry.
That's a relief.
Call us 24/7. We're here. We're going to help.
So there are 45 million Americans that will bet on March Madness. How about that little stat? And the likelihood is, as a sports fan, you may be one of them. Well, you know what? You need to go to the folks at Action 24/7. Right now, if you use promo code George, that's pretty shocking. I've got a promo code. You get a 300% deposit match up to $20 on your first deposit. Action 24/7 is Tennessee's only locally owned and operated sports book. I say that for an obvious reason. These folks live here. They are your neighbors. They want good relations with you. When you have questions or a dispute on a bet, you simply call them. They're going to get right back to you. That's what good neighbors do. Download the app or visit action247.com to let the winning begin. And please bet responsibly. Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from. And for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685. I know it's getting colder. You're not thinking about golf. However, if you're planning an event for next year, let me suggest golf through Riverside Golf Links. The course has improved dramatically. It's perfect for hosting a corporate or a charitable outing. They've got everything in place to make your event a rousing success. To get more info, call 615-847-5074 or go online to riversidegolflinks.com. In honor of the NCAA men's basketball tournament, the George Plaster Show will hit the road Thursday, March the 16th and Friday, March the 17th at the beautiful Ford Ice Center in Bellevue. If you've never been out there, you're in for a treat. On the second floor, they've got a great sports bar with a bunch of televisions, so you'll have a chance to see all the games. We'll see you at the Ford Ice Center in Bellevue. So here is the truth. A couple of weeks ago, Watson Brown on this very show said, I think the Preds are going to make the playoffs. And I believe I said something like, yeah, whatever. Or was it worse?
I think it was worse than that.
Was
I think you basically told me I was crazy within not saying it.
I don't think it had anything to do with the Preds.
Oh, yeah. That's when no.
Took you a while, didn't it?
Yeah, I was a little slow on that one.
That one didn't reach the plateau.
No, that's why
delay.
you got me back now. So whatever.
So,
a little slow.
So let's put the graphic up, because this is crazy what is going on. So Winnipeg is in the 8 hole with 79 points, and the Preds are in the 9 hole with 75. But look at the games still at hand. The Predators have played 3 less. Winnipeg hosts Boston tomorrow night before coming to Nashville on Saturday. And with that in mind, Pete Weber, the play-by-play voice of the Preds, was nice enough to kind of pinch hit for Mark McGee and join us today. Pete, how you doing?
I'm doing well. And George, I really can't believe how well the Predators are doing, particularly after last night's victory. To just be 4 points behind now and have those, I know it's a great hockey term, games in hand. Are they worth more than 2 in the bush? I don't know, but we'll take care of things the way they are right now. This has been quite a run with depleted lineup, all the changes that were made, just going into the trade deadline, and then seeing how essentially this band of youngsters has come together and is performing so very well.
Pete, it seems like the leader of this kitty core is Novak.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit on him and what everybody thinks.
Good young man from St. Paul, Minnesota. He, as a matter of fact, a few weeks ago when the Predators played at Minnesota, I was watching the game on television here at home. I wasn't traveling yet. And here's news for you. I will be traveling again beginning this weekend.
Nice.
But this is, I'm looking back at the bench, and there's a youngster who really resembles Tommy Novak. So I asked him about that when the club got back home. He goes, oh, yeah, that was my brother. So he had a doppelganger in the family, just looking exactly like him. But Novak has very silky hands. He has good speed, and he has, I'd have to say, the ability to carry a team offensively, which is demonstrated very vividly for us over the course of the last week or so. And now that he is doing that, I think the club has, and not just him, but I think the club has a lot of confidence in what they can accomplish.
Pete, all of us, when a team starts selling, and in the Predators' case, I think it was 4 different sales, and we all assume, okay, they've put up the white flag. Can you remember a scenario in recent hockey life where a team has done that and confounded everybody and gotten in the playoffs?
Not off the top of my head, George. No, I honestly can't. This is a team that you would think did run that white flag up the pole and was looking out and just trying to survive the balance of the year. But now that they have begun to win, and they have, and it's not just a recent occurrence, it's happened over the course a little bit longer than that 6-game cross-continent road trip where they went from Florida to Chicago to Vancouver. I'm going to make you tired here now. Go to Arizona, which was the downfall for them of one game on that trip, and then to Southern California and escape as they did. They really have things going right now where they feel like they're on a roll, and a roll that they're not willing to give up right now. They're going to keep on going and hope they can keep on going through Chicago tomorrow night, and then one of their 2 remaining games against Winnipeg here on Saturday afternoon.
Are the players talking about it?
In a way, but the big thing is, and these young players, for example, Luke Evangelista, I talked with him yesterday morning after the morning skate, and he was just all smiles out in the hallway. And I go, Luke, have you ever had more fun in your life? And he goes, no, I have not. This is way too much fun. And his life as a pro hockey player is not that lengthy right now. But he has been a leading scorer at every level he has played. And right now, he's a National Hockey League rookie with 2 goals, 2 assists, and 7 games played. And he just keeps on going. He's having a great time. And this is a guy that just got called up after the Predators' so-called fire sale began.
Pete, this is, I don't know quite how to ask this, but I'm just going to blurt it out.
Yes.
Would getting in the playoffs be a good thing?
Well, I know some people think that you want to go to the playoffs and think you can win the Stanley Cup, but just get in the playoffs. And where is this message? Where is this most plain for everybody? I think it was when the Predators made the playoffs as the very last team in 2017. And where did they end up? The Stanley Cup final against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I realize they didn't win it. Believe me, probably nobody realizes it better than I do. But that was one of those things in the last few years. You had the St. Louis Blues, who were last in the league in January of 2019, and then they go on and win the Stanley Cup. There are teams that have come from way back, and we can even go back in baseball. We can go back to George Stallings' Boston Braves in 1914, who were last place on the 4th of July, and they won the World Series. So these crazy things can definitely happen.
George Stallings. You did not cover him.
No, and we didn't do the games on radio either because radio hadn't been invented yet.
Right. KDKA was still 6 years away.
That's right. That's right.
Watson, say hello to Pete Weber.
Pete, he would have said I did cover him, though. He was really nice to you right there. He was very nice to you. Believe me, if I'm sitting there and he's talking to me, he said, yeah, Watson, you watched him play back then, didn't you? So he's being really good. Do you understand that?
Yeah, much appreciated. Yeah, without any no question there. We got to get Bob Jameson on here, our mutual friend of George and mine, and talk about that.
Pete, I look at the playoffs, and to me, this is kind of a perfect storm. That's why I said a couple of weeks ago, I think they're going to make it. When you do this and you bring in a bunch of young guys, they come in hell-bent for leather. Mm-hmm. Just go for it. Just have a good time. Prove what I can do. They got nothing on their backs. They're just ready to go. You take this and then the second thing is, you get rid of all these guys. The ones that are left, they say, uh-oh, I better pick my act up or I'll be in this deal. So you get their attention.
Yep.
And then you take this long road trip where everybody gets away from everybody. They get to know each other better. They get to come together more as a team before they go back home and everybody does all their stuff when you get home. I just think it's been a perfect storm. And the Preds have taken advantage of that.
Yes, they have. And that's the key, Watson. They have taken advantage of the situation. Yep. They have grabbed the ring and run with it. And now we're seeing the fruits of that. And can we continue to see, or can we continue that harvest of said fruit as time goes on? Because here you go, the Preds now with a total of 17 games remaining, 10 of them on home ice. And they have not been as dominant there as they would like, but I think that is going to give them a chance.
Well, and I think it's rejuvenated the fans, Pete. I think now the atmosphere at home is going to be the old atmosphere that you know really well.
That's right.
And I think people are kind of excited right now. They're seeing new faces. They're seeing young guys. And I'm not sure, and give the credit to the players. Yeah. But it's given everybody a boost here as we head down the stretch. And I just think that boost could be the difference if they'll take advantage of what they've done so far. See no reason that they won't.
Right. And just keep going after it and let things fall where they may. And this has been, because of that, I think, a great deal of fun for all concerned.
Yeah, and it could go down in history. And the other thing to me, Pete, after being in the business and coach for so long, getting to a bowl game, getting to the playoffs, getting to the NC2A does matter. It really means a lot. Doesn't mean you're going to win it all, but I can tell you there's college basketball teams. There's probably out of that 68, there's probably 50 of those that are just, we got there. Now let's do whatever we can. So I think it does matter. You don't just have to say, well, we're good enough to win it all. Getting there does matter. And I think these young guys have gotten everybody's attention that, hey, man, this is big. I've not been yet or whatever. And I want to get this done. So, again, there's a lot of motivation here that if you really look into it, they've grabbed a hold of.
They have, and they're continuing to hold on. And they are going to be on, they want to be on there longer than the 7 seconds you're on a bucking bronco in the rodeo and keep going after it in that fashion. And I think they really have embraced that. And this is very reminiscent to me, actually, not that long ago, but during COVID and 2 years ago, the Predators rode on the coattails of a lot of youngsters who got called up and were able to make the postseason. And it looked like there was no chance in Hades that they were going to do that. Well, Hades got a lot cooler for them and for everybody else.
Yeah. Do you see this or am I wrong? I think we look quicker.
Yeah.
I think the total team, I told George this 4 or 5 days ago. I said, George, I'm telling you, this team looks more athletic. They look quicker on the ice to me. Do you see that, or is that just a crazy fan that thinks he sees that?
No, it's not a crazy fan. I don't think anyway. I think it is a team that goes quickly on the attack. And the important thing, I think, for the coaches, they go quickly back on defense too. And that can help turn things around for you.
Yeah. And are both of these games with Winnipeg in Nashville? Or is it home and home?
The one here Saturday afternoon, it is a home and home. And the second game with Winnipeg comes up on April the 8th. So that will be up there. Yeah.
3 weeks away. Because, I mean, when you play the team you're chasing, that's like double dipping, really.
Yes.
I mean, that's double dipping. So this game Saturday, and, of course, this Blackhawks game is huge coming up too. But Winnipeg coming in here, I hope that place is rocking that night because that is a big game right there.
Imagine that. Big games, consecutive games at home. Yeah. First Detroit, then Chicago, and then Winnipeg. It's going to be a fun week. It's going to be a very fun week.
That carries a lot of Nashville history in that right there, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Kidding. Yes, it does.
Those three teams.
Pete, show us, for those who don't know you as well as some of us do, Pete Weber is a huge sports fan. And in that room he's in right there, there's all kinds of sports stuff.
Yeah.
I see the Notre Dame pennant. What else is back there?
Well, we have my man Harry Carey up on top of the bookcase there.
Harry Carey, let me hear you.
And if it weren't for him, I don't know if I'd even be in this business, because listening to him as a kid and tuning in KMOX at night, something else.
Oh, yeah.
There is a picture of a very young me in a light sweater with some guy named Bobby Orr taken in the Forum Club in Los Angeles. And then over to the far, you can't really make that one out, but is a picture of me, Bob Miller, my partner in the Los Angeles Kings, and Marcel Dion, who had just been awarded the Seagram 7 Crown of Sports Award for the season that he had just completed, leading the league in scoring and being the last guy to win the scoring title before Wayne Gretzky got it started.
Wow. A lot of stuff back there. I've been over there before. I know there's a lot of sports stuff.
And I even got, well, let me see. No, I just gave that away, but up above my bookcase over to my left was a Brooks Robinson model glove, the MVP model from 1964 that Brooks signed for me at Greer Stadium a number of summers ago. And he was perhaps the biggest star of my youth defensively. But the other guy that is up there with a nice autograph picture from his restaurant, Stanley Frank Musial. Not a bad guy at all.
Not bad stuff right there. Okay. First of all, thank you for doing this on short notice.
Happy to do it, George.
Tell Claudia I said hello.
I shall.
And tell UC Saros I said hello because he is playing out of his mind.
But the thing is, he is so darn calm about what he does. George, I think he looks in the stands and tries to find you in between finding pucks that end up in his glove or off his pads or off his stick. He has just been amazing to me.
Yeah.
And to be able to go from one Finnish goaltender who's much taller in Pecorine to UC Saros and not losing much of anything, that's been incredible, I think.
It has been amazing. It's always good chatting with you. Let's do it again soon.
Okay, I'll be back with you in 20 minutes.
That's Pete Weber, play-by-play voice of the Nashville Predators. Great to have him join us. After the break, more NFL news. A big bombshell coming out of Big D. Stay with us.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Jody Jones has as nice a dental facility as you'll find anywhere. Let's go in and take a look. Are you in the market for a new dentist? Maybe you're new to Nashville? Well, the place to go is Jody Jones Dentistry at 55 Music Square East, and their new facility is absolutely state-of-the-art. Jody mixes quality with comfort for the perfect dental experience. He's trusted for his creative design and committed to both the function and aesthetics of your smile. Jody is simply the total package. Don't wait. Make an appointment now at 615-259-5100.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service, growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to AlacoFineWoodFloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
We start in the Metroplex, where the Cowpokes dropped a big bomb earlier today. Billy, what do you got?
Cowboys and Zeke Elliott are officially parting ways, and he is now a free agent.
Watson, the record will show that in his career in Dallas, he gained over 8,200 yards. But I don't know that I've ever seen a running back's ability slip from the second year to the rest the way Zeke's did.
Yeah, I think they all do. I think it's just slower. I agree with you, George. It just seemed like it was just like that.
Yeah.
That he looked slow. And he just didn't have the burst. And then when who is the kid that's playing there now that's doing
Pollard.
Thank you.
Tony Pollard.
You have to help me with names. You know that. And I think he really made it stick out. His quickness compared to Zeke's just showed this year bad to me. And the other thing, George, is the Zeke Elliott's and the Derrick Henrys of the world, the offenses aren't made like that as much anymore. They're using these running backs in a lot of different ways. And that's why I think Derrick Henry, for Derrick's sake, he needs to stay right in Nashville where this stuff is built around him. I don't think he's Zeke Elliott yet. I don't. But I think he'll get to that point. It just catches up with these running backs, man.
So there'll be people who say, okay, how after 2 years can you just not 100% lose it, but pretty close?
Yeah.
My answer would be, having been down on a sideline during an NFL game, it's an organized train wreck. And if you run that running back 375 times, by number 374, he ain't the same guy.
George, think about it. It's really the only position on the field where you don't get to protect yourself. You're running the ball up inside, and all these blockers are coming off, knocking the snot out of everybody, but protecting themselves. The defensive guys, that running back over and over and over. I would have thrown the quarterback in with that, but they now protect the quarterback in unbelievable ways. And that's why some are getting to play longer. Tom Brady played longer because he was protected, in my opinion. But they just wear out, and I think it starts with their legs. And when their legs lose that zip to them, they're gone. They're just gone, and you can just see it, and they can't do anything about it. It's not Zeke's fault. It's not anybody's fault. That's why everybody says, why did Jim Brown quit? Why did Barry Sanders quit? They also knew. I'm fading. I can tell it. I'm not there yet. I believe this. And they knew it, and they just didn't. They just said, I've had enough. I've done enough.
Isn't that the thing, though, that we should appreciate the most about Derrick Henry is this is now 5-6 years of this being a battering ram. I don't see major slippage.
He's bucked the trend.
Man,
no, I don't either.
Ever.
But we're going to watch for it now. I'm sorry, but we will. We'll watch for it and see when it starts hitting him. What is he, 28, 29? Isn't that right?
It's got to be somewhere in there. I don't have it in front of me.
I mean, he's in a long line here, a short line for people that have made it this long and kept as good as they were. But I think he still is. I think he's got another year, a good year left in him.
Do you think I know this is unfair, but for those of us who didn't play football, into our 20s, did he train harder than Zeke?
I don't think that's fair. Derrick is just a different animal. The one guy that quit early, I think, could have gone on and played, or was Jim Brown. There's just, and again, I am old enough to remember watching Jim Brown play.
I never said a word.
I know, I'll beat you to it. But that guy just he didn't look like he'd lost anything when he quit. And he's a big body guy like that. I know Derrick works hard. I can't take shots at Zeke. I've never heard that he didn't work hard. So Derrick's just different. There's not many of him in the world.
Yeah, you got that right.
Many of him. And he's going to go down as one of the 5 best running backs of all time, George. In my opinion, when it's all said and done and over with, they're going to put Derrick Henry in there with the Jim Brown and the Barry Sanders and the Eric Dickersons, and they're going to put him right there with them.
Billy, what else is on that list?
Juju Smith-Schuster and the Patriots have reached a deal on a 3-year, $330 million contract with $22.5 million over the first 2 years of the deal.
Hold on. You went a little far there. 3 years, $330 million?
33.
Okay. You added a zero, and he appreciates it.
Yeah.
I'll guarantee you he appreciates it.
I'm sure anybody would.
Good receiver, a guy that could help the Titans. But Watson, right now, they're really strapped on cash, aren't they?
Who's that? The Titans?
Yeah.
Not bad. They've got some now. He's what is it? Are we in the up to close to 30, 20 to 30 million? We've made up some ground, and that's why I'm anxious to watch them and see where they go.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to keep going to this offensive line first, and wouldn't be surprised at all if some really good receiver pops up. Not a draft receiver, but a guy within the league receiver. Let's just watch it and see. I think that's where they're headed. I don't know who's left out there or whatever, but
I'll give you the one.
I know the one you're going to say.
Adam Thielen.
Yeah, me too.
Today.
Yeah, I would too.
What do you got, Billy?
They did make a move last night, sort of late last night. Defensive lineman Arden Key on a 3-year, $21 million deal with a max value of $24 million. After 4.5 sacks with the Jags last season, Arden Key's been rewarded for that. So that's
for him.
Sort of the Bud Dupree replacement, I would assume.
Baker has a new deal.
But it
doesn't look like any new commercials recently.
No, those might be stopping.
I don't think they'll be done in Cleveland Stadium anymore. No,
I think that's a good point. Watson, thank you. That's added. You don't get that on every show.
No. Darius Slay.
Wait a minute. Did you tell us where Baker signed?
The Buccaneers.
Okay. So he and Gronk can do commercials out of the same stadium.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Well, what they do, they have Gronk on one side of the field, they got Baker on the other, and they just duel it out and see who does the best commercial.
Baker's commercials, it was funny to me how they were even doing those in Cleveland. Did they think his trajectory was gonna change? I mean,
it may have been him saying, I just need the money.
Probably so.
May not get it as a player.
Another move, George, Darius Slay and the Eagles, it looks like have parted ways. They couldn't work out a restructured deal, and he's going to be a free agent here in about 10 minutes. 3:00 today. That's the deadline. So,
okay. So it seems to me we're left with 2 questions. You ready? What if Jordan Love isn't all that good?
We're going to find out real quick like. I think the Packers think he is.
Are you confident he is?
No, I haven't seen enough to say that at all. I hadn't even seen enough to comment on him at this point, but they evidently do.
Well,
or they just said,
right.
I've had enough. I don't care. I've had enough. Get Aaron out of here. We'll find another one. I don't know, but I think they think he is. I do.
They better be right.
I know they had. You're right.
Because if not,
that's why Aaron Rodgers had to be good, because there were a lot of people that didn't want Brett Favre gone.
You're right.
They wanted to re-sign Brett Favre, and I'm telling you, they're in the same boat right now with Aaron Rodgers. They're right at the same spot again.
Here's the other question. The period is, the deadline is 3:00 Nashville time.
Yep.
Then all the playtime starts.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think a team in the next 48 hours is going to emerge for Lamar Jackson?
No, but I think one will. I don't know that it's going to be that quick. Somebody.
Who do you think it will be?
When do I think it'll be?
No, who do you think it'll be?
I have no clue. I just think somebody will. Somebody's going to go. And
So what you're putting out there is while the rest of the league colludes, that one will come out of nowhere and say, well, damn, if nobody's going to take him, we'll take him.
That's what I think is going to happen. Exactly right. Just look at the ones that are kind of this way with their quarterback and just keep hanging on and seeing. Because the way we run the ball, I'm not saying I'd do it if I'm Titans, but the way we run the ball, he'd fit here. Gosh, would he fit here? I mean, we do everything off the running game, and I'm a Ryan Tannehill fan, and I think they'll keep him. But the Titans are one of those I think that he'd work at. He'd fit in good here.
Washington's
another one. You're right, 100% so.
How can they not be looking at him?
I don't know. This thing's blown my mind.
Yeah.
You look at his stats. You put his stats up and you say, wow, he's been very good, man. And he's MVP of the league. Watch Green Bay late. You never know.
But you said something, I don't know, yesterday or the day before that I think you're right about. The Lamar Jackson stuff is going to end up in a court of law.
It's going to be in a courtroom, George. If he doesn't sign somewhere, it's really going to be in a courtroom. I'm telling you. And it's going to get ugly because that's this stuff in the NFL where they do this kind of thing. These owners kind of get together through the commissioner, and that's a pretty strong statement by me, but I think some of it's happened. I can't prove it. Well, the St. Louis deal's one that kind of looks that way.
You think?
Yeah, kind of. But this stuff's got to stop. I don't understand this one. Somebody can go after Lamar Jackson and get him for a lot less than what Deshaun Watson did. I mean, why would everybody think everybody now's got to do that? I mean, I would look at it as they're stupid. That's the way I'd look at it, is Cleveland was stupid to do that. We're not going to do that. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, now everybody's going to think, well, they didn't have to collude to me. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to get, what is it, $230-something million guaranteed? Every penny of it guaranteed with a guy in trouble with the law? I'm going, good gracious, man. I don't know why you have to collude.
This just in, Cleveland is stupid.
I'm sorry. That's not me very often, but.
No, but I 100% agree with that move.
Okay, so let's go around the room on this one. On opening day 2023, is Lamar Jackson Baltimore's quarterback? Billy?
No.
Watson?
No.
David?
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh.
I think he was just trying to be different.
I don't know.
We can't all be the
suitors
same.
for him. I think he's going to be in Baltimore. If you're Baltimore, what do you do at the quarterback position if you don't have Lamar?
Yeah, but the second part of Baltimore is, doesn't he hold out?
I think he wants his money too.
There's no doubt in my mind he would hold out. No doubt in my mind. Baltimore would have to give him more money to keep him. They'd have to restructure what they gave him. He will hold out and not play this year if he doesn't get picked up by somebody, traded by somebody, to somebody.
God, that's incredible to me.
It is a weird story. And,
sad.
And what would make it weirder
is sad. Watson's right.
At the 11th hour, he ought to hire an agent. He's been hearing all this stuff.
You saw some of his last comments. I don't think it's happening.
No.
And, I think he's the kind of guy that football isn't life to him. And I know there's a lot of people like that, that where they rank football in their life. I'm starting to think Lamar is a guy that he doesn't have to have football. I mean, at least that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. Because if he holds out for another year, that's 2 years of not playing.
Coach, I think he's competitive as he can be, man. I can't see him walking away from football. That young man is really a competitor. He doesn't always look the prettiest and all that, but does he compete? He competes, and he's tougher than nails. Carrying it 15 times a game in the NFL, he's a running back. He's tougher than nails now. I really respect this kid. And I don't think a lot of people thought coming out, and I wasn't big on him. George will remember.
And I wasn't either.
I didn't know that he'd be a good pro. He's been a very good pro. Very good pro.
After the break, we'll have stat of the day, and then we'll have Taylor Barnette. And God only knows what kind of backdrop he'll have, but I'll guarantee you it won't look like this, will it?
Certainly.
No, he'll have something up his sleeve.
Oh, you know he will. Stay tuned.
Hey, thank you for meeting with me today. The insurance company has made an offer.
Already? Wow.
They've offered you the entire policy.
Thank you, Blair.
You're so welcome.
Forget the fact that Sir Speedy Music City is owned by my BGA classmate James Warren. Their work stands on its own merit. James and his staff do incredible work, as evidenced by the huge banners at the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. If you're looking for quality to help your marketing and business communications, and you want it at a reasonable price, these are your folks. Call them at 615-832-9511 or go to print at sirspeedymusiccity.com. And be sure to tell them Plaz sent you.
This is my buddy and former Nashville Sounds PA announcer Eric Berner. I always laughed in the old days at Greer Stadium when I would walk in, Eric would immediately play my favorite song, Van Halen's Jump. But then I learned he actually has a real job with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors.
Yeah, George, that's what I do. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. Everybody's situation is different, so I use a customized and individualized, personalized approach to the person I'm working with. Old 401ks, retirement planning, insurance planning, inheritance planning. Those are things that people like to get some more information about.
One of the things I find is people don't even know where to start, and that's where you come in.
Yeah, so I can usually help people with an initial phone call or meeting that is a no charge and no obligation.
And I'll bet you have a phone number and a website.
I do, George. They can call me at 615-235-1058 or rockcastlewealth.com or Eric at rockcastlewealth.com.
Welcome to John English Antique Sports and Cards, located at 204 East Depot Street in beautiful downtown Shelbyville, Tennessee. Their phone number is area code 931-492-4304. John, obviously, I've been blown away by what I've seen at your place. I've now been there 3 times. But for the person who's never been, what should they expect?
Well, we have a 3,000 square foot store, George. Half of it is vintage cards in all sports, and then half of the store is, a lot of people call it the museum, where there's a lot of early equipment and just the history of sports in general: baseball, football, basketball, golf, tennis, and other items.
When somebody comes in there that you know is a big sports fan, what is their normal reaction?
Well, I think that they're pleasantly surprised, and of course, being in Shelbyville, Tennessee, which is a small town that you would never expect a shop like we have to be in. So they're kind of, I don't want to say blown away, but as I said, pleasantly surprised.
Talking a little college hoops with Taylor Barnette, but first, stat of the day brought to you by John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville. You can find them at 204 East Depot Street, Tuesday through Friday from noon to 5. Also Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5. Give them a call at 931-492-4304. All right, let's see what David's got cooked up for us today. And I think we're going March Madness again, and we are. Only 2 teams in NCAA tournament history have ever played in the first 4 and reached the Final 4 in the same year. Can you name those 2 teams?
Okay, Watson, I'm going to go that one of them is VCU under Shaka. Are you buying that?
Yeah, I'd probably go with you on that one.
Okay, is VCU one of them? No.
That's incorrect.
Actually, yes, they are. I was waiting on you to answer, but I said,
"Oh, wait a minute!
Come on, man."
I was waiting. David wouldn't answer. I said no, but I wasn't looking at it. But now I'm looking at it.
You two need to get your stuff together.
Well, usually David is able to confirm.
That one was the layup of the group.
Okay. VCU, Watson. I'm going to give you a wild stab here. You ready?
Huh? Yeah. Sorry. You're going to give me a wild stat?
I'm going to give a wild stab at this. George Mason in 2006. Yeah, whatever.
How long they've been playing this game, George?
Play-in games now, 12, 14 years old.
So it's real recent.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? Let's bring Taylor Barnette into this.
St. Peter's did they were a 15, weren't they?
Let him get embarrassed a little bit. Taylor, how are you?
I'm doing great, George. How are you?
Good. We'll talk about the backdrop here in a minute.
Yes, we will.
Billy, run through the question again, and let's see what Taylor comes with.
Only 2 teams in NCAA tournament history have ever played in the first 4 and reached the Final Four in the same year. Who are those 2 teams? We've already guessed VCU.
Which was correct.
Okay. And I have a feeling it's a high major, and I don't know why. I feel like an off season, like Michigan State snuck in the tournament and made a run.
Thanks. Big help you are.
George?
Yeah. Okay. Watson, have you given up, or are you?
I'm trying to think, George.
Yeah.
I said St. Peter's, and I know that's not right. They were a 15 seed.
Yes.
George, how good is your memory?
Is there
2 years ago?
Not good.
No.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2021. The team went on a run from the first 4.
COVID year?
The year after.
UCLA.
There we go.
Don't believe I got that one, George.
So let's check out as we begin the 3 o'clock hour.
My buddy Kelvin.
Yeah. So why don't we?
Taylor, I was with Kelvin at Oklahoma. We were good. We became good friends.
Why isn't this your background?
I was, because I can't do that stuff. That's why.
I like the other one better.
No one else.
Is this a national title reveal? Or?
Let's just go ahead and put his Final Four predictions up there.
Oh, and look who's up there.
Imagine that. Yeah. Tell you one thing. If Sasser doesn't play, he can forget it. It ain't happening.
A lot of people are saying he's going to play at least starting in the Sweet 16.
Yeah. The question is, can they get through to the Sweet 16?
I believe they can. I've been researching and asking around, trying to figure out if Sasser's healthy, if he's going to play. And, I have a feeling that he is. Tough kid. And I think that they can get by a game at least, if not 2 without him. And I just believe that, I don't know. I think they're the best team in the country. Alabama's right there with them. I think that's going to be my national championship game. I think both teams have proven that all year that they're 1 and 2 in the country. But you're right. I mean, it's a scary situation for Houston. They need him. He's their best offensive scorer and shooter, in my opinion. And they really need him to play.
And how about the revenge factor there? Alabama went to Houston and beat them early in the year. Now, if they meet in the national title, they'll have a chance to beat them in Houston at NRG Stadium. How about that?
Yeah, that's one of the best college basketball games from the whole season. That was an unbelievable game. Statement win by Alabama, and obviously Houston would love another shot at them.
Well, truthfully, it was a year ago in Tuscaloosa as well. They've done a home and home, and the one a year ago in Tuscaloosa went
phenomenal,
right to the wire as well. So Taylor, let's start for a second with your third team up there, Duke. And I can remember a game in January. They went on the road after having beaten Carolina, and a Miami that is very athletic just beat the ever-living snot out of them. Took them behind the woodshed in Miami, won by more than 20. And at that point, I was like, boy, what is this first year like for Shire? Where do you think he turned it around? What do you think this year's been like for them?
Well, for one, they ended up getting healthy. They got Dariq Whitehead and Jeremy Roach. They're both healthy. Jeremy Roach, I think, is the backbone of that team. He's an experienced guard. You know, you got to have experience to win this tournament. History says so. And I just think that it's a young team that's gotten better as the year goes on. I think that's what every team is mission is to get better and be playing their best basketball at the end of the year. And that's what Duke's doing right now. Win the ACC championship or the tournament. They're rolling. I think they've won 8 in a row. Jeremy Roach is playing at a high level. Filipaski's outstanding. They've got all the pieces. They're super talented. And I just think that their freshmen have continued to get better. Their coaching staff's done a great job, obviously. And John Shire in his first year is doing a heck of a job.
Let's go to Alabama for a second. Virtually every talking head Sunday night had Alabama in their Final Four. A lot of them had them, you know, going to the finals, winning the championship. It was, to me, Alabama was more unanimous with the talking heads than any other team. So, unbelievably impressive in Nashville. What's the one little thing that you say, but this worries me about Bama?
You know, I would have thought going, I think I said last week, going into this tournament is just maybe the distractions of all the off the court stuff that's going on. And, you know, if they can handle it emotionally and what's really going through their minds, but that didn't seem to play effect in their minds at all in terms of the SEC tournament. If anything, I think it's made them come together even more and have a singular focus. Let's win a title. And I think they'll have that same focus. You know, they shoot a lot of threes. You know, they got to continue to shoot the ball well, but they got to get stops on the defensive end, and then they got to limit their turnovers. You know, if they can stay right at 10 turnovers or less per game, and they continue to shoot the ball the way that they are and get stops, I mean, they're really hard to beat. I think they're the most talented team in the country. And I think Brandon Miller is the best player in the country. He's special. And so they're going to be tough to beat. They got great guards, and they're deep. They're deep. They play 10 guys or more, and pretty much all of them except Bediako shoot threes. They're long, athletic, they're quick. So they're going to be a really tough out.
Taylor, I'm going to take Watson's point a little bit. It won't be this weekend in Birmingham. That's sort of, you know, friendly territory. But what happens when they get in the Sweet 16 and the New York Times drops a bombshell the day before their next game? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it wouldn't shock me if it did.
Yeah, I mean, I can't predict what's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to happen. You know, the media will do what the media does. But I think to this point, I mean, they've already faced so much, and they've gotten right back up, and they've won an SEC title. So I think they're focused. I think they'll stay together as a group. And I think the staff will keep them focused on, you know, what the task that's ahead. And so I don't know. It's possible that something like that could happen, but I really think it's a focused group and a motivated group, and they're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah. So let's move on to Tennessee. The fact that they got paired with Duke, was that the death knell for them?
I mean, I don't think so. I think that Tennessee wasn't going to go far regardless of the draw they got, to be honest with you. I really don't think that, you know, I saw them play in the SEC tournament, and I mean, they just can't score. It's really hard for them to score the ball. You know, Vescovi, the game I was at, had some big threes. They need to get him more open shots, but I mean, I don't really care who they play. You know, as they advance, the teams are going to get better. The teams are there for a reason. And I think Tennessee losing has more to do with Tennessee than who they're playing. They're going to guard you, but you still got to put the ball in the hole to win. And I don't think they do that very well.
For us to be wrong, because I happen to agree with you that I think Tennessee, it's kind of come to a standstill. I've kind of thought that the recipe, if they're going to get anything done, Vescovi has to go absolutely nuts from three. He's got to hit 5 or 6 against the Dukes and those kind of people. And I see you nodding your head. You actually agree with me?
I do.
Wow.
The problem, George, is that he can't create his own looks.
Right.
And so he's crafty and he's got a good shot fake and a sidestep 3, but most teams have a guy that can stick on him like glue, and he's going to have a hard time getting open, especially if you don't really have any other threats. Obviously Josiah Jordan-James is a really good player and he can score. Well, the game I was at, they just went pin down, post up the whole game, it felt like. And so it's going to be tough for him to get open looks. Those 5 or 6 threes are not going to come easy at all.
And that's why Ziegler being out hurts so much, because he created so much for that offense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what about your hometown team? I walk out Friday night, and Taylor, the level of vitriol or whatever that means aimed at Calipari, my God, I couldn't believe it. This has got to be wearing on him.
Yeah, you would think so. But at the same time, I think he secretly loves it. I think he loves the fight, loves the competitiveness, loves just all the chatter. And he plays well into that. I think for this team to go where they want to go, on Friday night when I went to the Vandy UK game, I was there, and Cason Wallace did not look healthy. He's holding his knee. You could tell he had a brace on underneath his tights. And I think for them to go where they want to go, they need him. I know Oscar's their big guy in the middle and rebounder, but in order for them to win, they're going to need Cason Wallace and a healthy version of him.
Otherwise, it could be very early.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think it's Providence early, but it could be.
It could be. I think a lot of people are, questioning Providence because Ed Cooley's rumored for the Georgetown job. Is he going to take it? I don't buy into all that. Regardless, those kids are going to be excited to play in the NCAA tournament. Ed Cooley's going to have those guys ready to play.
And Bryce Hopkins is going to be excited too.
If Cason Wallace isn't ready to play and not healthy, I think the Providence could beat them.
By the way, what's in your hometown? What's the Patino rumor? Because at the tournament Thursday night, man, it was out there that Notre Dame is the one.
The only one that I keep hearing is St. John's. That's the Patino rumor that I keep hearing. But we'll see. You know how this thing goes. There'll be jobs open that no one expected to come open. And somebody will take that one and another job open. So I think that the one that I hear him rumor for the most is definitely St. John's.
Okay. Give me the SEC team outside of Tennessee or Alabama that you think has the best shot to make noise.
I saw Arkansas play in the SEC tournament, and they looked a little bit dysfunctional in the sense that Nick Smith's now back, and it's hard to bring a guy that's that talented back in and try to find a groove. But they're the one team that is talented enough to make a deep run. I really, they play Illinois. It's funny that they're playing each other because they're very similar. They're both crazy talented, but they've underachieved in the regular season. I think whoever wins that game, nobody's going to want to play. So I think Arkansas is that next team. They've got crazy talented guys. It's just in this week, can they come together? Can they play well together? Because it didn't look like it at all in the SEC tournament. Looked frustrated. The staff even looked frustrated from what I could tell when I was watching the game. And so if they can come together, they got the talent.
I caught the same thing you did. I was there, and there was a lot of chatter going on between Musselman and the staff. I noticed the same thing you did.
Yeah, there really was, and it just looked like a lot of frustration. And hopefully, for their sake, they've worked some of that out, and that they can play together this week, because I think they're really talented, and they got some really, really good players where they can make a run.
Last thing on my end, then we'll go to the break, and then Watson will kind of take over here. You've played NCAA tournament basketball. How different is it from regular season?
It's the most exciting time. Man, it's every kid's dream to play in the NCAA tournament, and it really is different. It just feels different. You get the escort to the game. You show up to the hotel, and there's stuff out for you, and it's just exciting. It's every kid's dream. They grow up and they want to play in the NCAA tournament. It just means more. It really does. I think coaches can easily say, well, every game matters and you need to be up for every game, but that's not reality. We're human. But it is easy to get up for an NCAA tournament game because it's so exciting. March Madness. It's one of my favorite times of the year. So it really is. It's the best basketball out there.
Who all did you play against?
Well, my year at Belmont, where we made it, we actually played against Virginia. And that's the only time that I've played in it, unfortunately.
And almost beat
got upset.
And you had played at Virginia as a freshman.
Yeah, it was weird. I was playing against some of my best friends from my freshman year of college.
A little chirping going on?
A little chirping going on, man.
I believe it.
Little nudges on the court,
I believe it. Okay, after the break, more with Taylor Barnette. Watson Brown will take over. But first.
And we'll go to the break. I got an interesting piece on Brandon Miller today at the NCAA tournament.
Really?
Little tease.
Oh, okay. Are we going to talk a little 24/7?
Yes, we are.
Sure we are. 45 million Americans are participating in betting on the NCAA tournament. If you're one of those folks, let me steer you to Action 24/7. And use the promo code George. I have a promo code. Taylor does not. And get a 300% deposit match up to $20. I know, but it felt good.
I'm sure it did.
So you get a 300% deposit. No, don't take that off. Put it back up there. Up to $20 on your first deposit. Action 24/7 is Tennessee's only locally owned and operated sports book. And I bring that up for a reason, because these are good folks. They are your neighbors, and they want to be neighborly about it. So if you've got questions, disputes on a game, you can give them a holler, and guess what? They're going to get back to you. Download the app or visit action247.com to start all this winning. Better do it quick, but please bet responsibly.
How am I going to get to work? My car's totaled.
Skylar, our team is making a call right now. We'll get you a rental car. Don't worry.
That's a relief.
Call us 24/7. We're here. We're going to help.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from. And for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685. I know it's getting colder. You're not thinking about golf. However, if you're planning an event for next year, let me suggest golf through Riverside Golf Links. The course has improved dramatically. It's perfect for hosting a corporate or a charitable outing. They've got everything in place to make your event a rousing success.
To get more info, call 615-847-5074 or go online to riversidegolflinks.com.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets. And we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
We're back. In just a moment, Watson Brown will question Taylor Barnette, who wishes he had his own promo code. Billy, what went on today?
So
down
in Birmingham today, Brandon Miller was accompanied by an armed security guard at the NCAA tournament because of threats directed his way. So it's
that's not good.
This might be just the beginning of some of that. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not what we want.
Mm-mm.
Watson, say hello to, I don't know, Kelvin Sampson, Taylor Barnette. By the way, his dad is watching, Ross Boss. We have late word on that.
Honestly, Taylor, he could have called that promo code Taylor if he wanted to.
He could have,
but he wanted to name it after himself. So
it's just like George. Yeah,
it's just the way it is, man.
Yeah, I agree.
You put up with it once a week. We put up with it all week. It's just the way it is.
When it's promo code George, it just means
Taylor,
more.
Taylor would have been easy for somebody to remember instead of George. Just George.
Wow.
Anyway, Taylor,
both of you
let's
seem
talk
so
the Houston
bitter.
region. I got Texas coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my Final Four out of that one. And that region is the most interesting region of the bunch to me because Texas has got to go through Texas A&M if they both get there, which I think they will. And then they got to go through Houston. And believe me, those two schools hate the University of Texas.
Yeah.
So there will be great games to me if that happens. Texas A&M will be huge. Texas will want to beat Houston because of who they are right now. But Houston has not been a Texas fan for a long, long time. So I don't know that I'm smart in picking Texas because of those two games. That's two hard Texas wins right there, man. They're going to catch absolutely the best of both of those. I worry about Sasser being well. He may play, but that doesn't mean he's full go.
Mm-hmm.
Growing injuries, if that's a bad growing, those things are 6 weeks a lot of times. They're not an easy injury to get back from. It's like a hamstring. And I just worry if he gets back, and that's the reason I didn't pick him. I just, like I say, he might play, but not be, but about 3/4 of what he normally is. And 3/4, all of him is speed, quickness, athleticism. That's his game. And Texas, when I watch them play Kansas, man, when they're good, they are really good, and they're athletic as anybody. Did you think Texas at all when you went through this Houston region?
I did. Yeah, I did. I want to ask you, I actually did not see the Sasser play that he got hurt.
Yeah, I did.
How did it look?
Complete splits.
Yeah.
And I thought it was knee. When he did it, I mean, his left leg went completely out. And I mean, he's on the floor. He split and fell backwards.
Yeah.
And that did, I mean, that's it. They got him off the court. He hardly could get off the court. I really thought he'd torn his ACL when I saw it. I thought, oh my gosh, he's tore his knee up. And then I find out later it's a groin. That's better than a torn ACL. But it was a nasty looking injury. And that scares me that if he gets back from it. And watching him on the floor of their conference tournament, man, he's trying to get to the huddles and back to the bench. he's going to have to make some quick improvements.
Yeah.
2 weeks would be what? That'd be 2 weeks from now that he'd have to play it in the big games.
Yeah.
They can probably get away with it this week.
Yeah.
They're going to catch an 8 and 9. I don't even know who their 8 and 9s are. Do you? I don't know.
Auburn,
it's Auburn or
it's Auburn, Iowa, right?
Auburn, Iowa. There you go.
Auburn, Iowa, and they could still win that game. I think.
I agree.
I mean, both those teams are capable. I know, but they could win that one. But I don't think they can get through A&M or Texas in the next one and make it without a full blown team.
I'd be more concerned if it was Jamal Shedd. I think Jamal Shedd is the heart and soul of that Houston team.
Yeah, I agree.
I do think Sasser will play. I do. That's why I still stuck with him.
Yeah, I think he'll play. I just wonder if he's up to his.
He might be at 80%. I understand. I mean, it's definitely concerning. Texas is good. They're old. They're experienced.
Yeah,
they've got a lot of guys that have been around college basketball for a few years, and I think that's what makes them really good. They're talented. They got guards that can score. They're definitely a threat. They've had a great year. Obviously, they've been through a lot. I don't think anybody would say that they would be where they are after all the stuff that happened with Chris Beard. But credit to them. They've done a great job. And I think they're 100% a team that can make the Final Four, make the national.
No, they're healthy. I would have had them in the 4. Ain't no doubt about it. I mean, and I know Kelvin's way. He is a relentless guy. His teams have always in-your-face kind of teams. That's the way they play. And I think his style of play to me is tournament basketball.
Yeah,
they're little. They don't call the fouls as tight, and he's one of those just all over you all the time. They're very physical in the paint, and his kids play really, really hard.
Yep.
And I'm not just talking about his Houston teams, all the way back, Washington State, Oklahoma. It's him. It's his style. And I just think they're going to be hard out. But the one that I think the style of play A&M plays is a hard out.
Yeah.
I think that's a hard team to beat in the tournament because they just don't make a lot of mistakes and they're always around.
Right.
And they got different guys. It looks to me like, Taylor, these teams that have got 2 scores and one of them's not on that day, you get beat. Texas A&M's one of them teams that's somebody different every game.
I know.
And that type of team to me is the ones that seem to hang on longer through the tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, Buzz Williams does a great job wherever he is.
Yeah, he does. He's another one.
They're tough. They play hard. They play together. They look bought in on the floor. They look connected.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for him as a coach. And I think, I mean, obviously, let's be honest. The NCAA puts Texas and Texas A&M to play in the second round. I mean, who's surprised?
And I think it'll happen. I do.
I do too. And, anything can happen in the tournament. Teams got to make free throws. They got to get stops. They got to hit big shots. Can't turn the ball over. Both those teams got a lot of experience.
Yeah, they do.
So that'll be a great game. I hope it happens. That's why they set it up that way. I hope that the A&M folks and the Texas folks get to see that game. I'd probably still pick Texas in that one. But like I said, Buzz Williams, he's always has a game plan. He's a really good coach.
Yeah, no, that's a hard win for Texas.
It is.
And it's probably crazy for me to pick them because I'm telling you, both those games, Houston will be absolutely ready to play Texas. They couldn't pick one they'd rather play to go to the Final Four. I'm telling you that if you said, who would you like to play to go to the Final Four? They'd say Texas. There's no doubt in my mind. So I'm probably crazy picking Texas, but I can't get out of my mind the way they looked in that Kansas game.
Yeah.
And I know Kansas is really good.
Yeah, they're really good. Now, you got to remember, though, the Hall of Fame coach wasn't on the sidelines.
No, he was not. I agree. He wasn't.
And people say, well, the players still played. Yeah, sure. But that's when you're head coach in the hospital, your mind can be a little elsewhere, and he's the head coach. I mean,
he makes all the
decisions.
calls.
He calls the plays. He makes the adjustments. So, that plays into it a lot, I think. So I don't think that was a true 20-point win in a championship game of a conference tournament, but it still was a pretty good statement.
Yeah, it was. And it was nip and tuck at the half. Texas got them in the second half and got them going. in Arizona and Alabama's
Yes.
bracket, that's the team I'd be, if I'm Alabama, I'd worry about. Arizona's another one I watched play the other night, play UCLA. Not just the man. They don't have the man. They're kind of like A&M. But everybody on Arizona can shoot. Yep. Everybody on that team can score. And that's the kind of team I think that could hang around Alabama. And that's the one that I looked at and said, ooh, that one is a toughie for me. I still picked Alabama, but I think that's going to be the one that they're going to have to beat when it comes down to it.
I mean, Arizona's been good all year. I mean, he's doing a great job there. They're talented. Like you said, they're offensively, they can score the ball.
Yeah.
You know, it's the tournament. Anything can happen. You know, it's funny that you go through these brackets and you pick teams, and I've made like a few, and you know, I pick one team, one bracket, and I'm like, golly, I don't feel good about that, you know, because
you go right back and say, I think I'm going to
pick the other team, you know, and then 30 minutes later, you've made 3 choices, you know, so it's just hard. I mean, that's what the beauty of the tournament is. You know, 12 seeds make the Final Four, and no one picked them. You know,
yeah, I know.
St. Peter's makes a run to the Elite Eight. No one picked. I mean, it's just that's what makes it fun. I think that the teams that, one, can put the ball in the hole and make shots, 2, get stops, rebound, own the backboard, and win the battle at the free throw line and keep the turnovers down. It all sounds very obvious, but that's what wins games. And that's what coaches' focuses are, is those simple things, but they're really hard to implement. And so I just think that, you know, there's quick turnarounds, which allows, you know, not for a lot of scheming, not for a lot of scouting. You got to keep it simple. You got to show your guys just a minimal amount of okay, here's what they do the most. And that can make things hard. So you never know when somebody rolls an ankle in the first round. It's just, there's so much that could happen.
Well, and it's matchups too, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Luck of the draw is big in the tournament, and you can nearly say, we don't match this team very good. And I think it's the way the brackets fall. It's just luck of the draw on the matchups, because I don't think it's always just seeding. It's who would be hard for me to play. I think Duke is really hard for Tennessee to play.
Yes.
I do. I think Duke has all the pieces that will give Tennessee a lot of trouble.
I think Duke would win that game by
big man that can move out when Tennessee's big men don't like moving out.
Mm-hmm.
They want to keep them in the paint as much as they can, and yet Filipowski can go out there. I mean, I'm watching his dribble down the middle of the floor that last weekend.
Yeah, he's a matchup nightmare.
Last break, I'm going, wow, that guy's 7-1 or something. I mean,
he's a matchup nightmare. That's a problem.
Matchup nightmare for Tennessee for sure, because of they got big guys, but they're not floor guys.
Yeah.
And I think Duke is a tough matchup for them. And the West is the one I think – I saw 3 teams over there that I think can make it to the Final Four. Connecticut, I really like Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Really like them. And they're kind of being forgot about. And Gonzaga, I'm telling you, this is the first time George puts me down every time I bring it up. Gonzaga's a fraud.
Gonzaga's a fraud.
I'm telling you, this is the first time in many years, Taylor, Gonzaga isn't the dog. They're sitting down here and everybody's kind of forgetting them now. And I'm telling you, this could be the furthest. This could be their best run yet.
Hey, you and my wife both. She picked Gonzaga to win it all, Watson.
Did she?
So, yeah, she did.
I'm telling you, watch out for Gonzaga, and then you got to keep UCLA there.
Yeah, UCLA has the number 1 defense.
Their coach so good. They play together. I mean, they nearly beat Arizona with one of their best players out the other night, and he's
still out. He's going to be out.
Oh, he's going to be out.
Yeah, he hurt his Achilles, from what I know. What I've seen.
So he could be out for the tournament.
Oh yeah,
that's going to hurt.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah, Jalen Clark, he's their best defender. I think he's their 3rd best player.
That's a big miss for them now.
But, I mean, they still got Jaquez, and they still got Tiger Campbell, who have both been there. They're both on that 11 seed first 4 team that made the Final Four.
Yeah.
They still have the experience. You know, Jaquez, the player of the year in the conference. Tiger Campbell is like in his 6th year of college. I think they can still make a run, and their defense is number 1 in the country, and Mick Cronin's a heck of a coach. But that is a big blow, losing Jalen Clark.
Boy, that West region.
That's a tough region, I think.
Yeah, 5 of the top 11 teams in KenPom in that region.
I'm telling you, that's the toughest region, I thought, when I looked at it. Anyway.
Real quick, hey Taylor, on Tennessee, do you put any stock on the Rick Barnes against John Shire? Is there a coaching advantage there, or do you not put much stock? Because I've heard a little bit of talk about that.
No, I don't. I think at the end of the day, like, it's
players win
score
games.
the ball. Like,
Yeah.
I just think that Duke's so much more talented, and I think John's a really good coach. I mean, he's been under one of the greatest coaches in the history of the game, if not the best in college basketball ever. So I think that I don't buy much into that. I think I have a ton of respect for Coach Barnes as a coach and a person, but I don't buy much into that. I think Duke will win that game, and they're just a better team. They have more talent.
There are three things in life that are guaranteed, Taylor: death, taxes, and Gonzaga ain't winning this tournament.
I hope they do, just because you said that.
Oh, God. The year that it really got rough was when they got all the way to the final, because Watson will tell you, I had said all along, they're a fraud. They're not winning this
Thank
tournament.
goodness they lost the final, or I would have eat him up. Absolutely would have. He'd have never lived it down. I'd have brought it up every day.
Yep.
So let's put Taylor on the hot seat. His dad, Ross Boss, watching the show, probably saying to himself, I need to hear something that he really sounds smart. That's what I think he's saying up in Lexington, KY. 8-9 games, Taylor. Maryland, West Virginia. Who?
I'm not picking against Bob Huggins.
I am.
Okay.
Watch Plaster Bet of the Day in a little while.
Okay, will do.
Yeah, I know you will. 8-9, Iowa, Auburn.
I like Iowa.
Ooh.
Iowa deserved better. They're basically playing Auburn. Auburn's got a home court as a 9 seed. Why?
They do, but I just don't. I honestly don't think that Auburn's very good. That's just how I feel about it.
Another 8-9, Memphis, Florida Atlantic.
I think Memphis is on a roll. I think you do not want to play Memphis right now.
I think you're right. Arkansas, Illinois.
I'm going to pick Arkansas.
Okay. I think I heard this, but maybe you got stepped on when you said this. Duke beats Tennessee by double digits.
I think they could win that game by 10 plus. I really do.
Billy, hold on to that clip, especially if it doesn't work.
I'd be stunned if he's wrong.
If it goes the other way, we are using it.
That's
Taylor,
fine.
if you will, give out your phone number so some Tennessee fans can call you.
That's fine.
They can tag him on.
Not give it out
Twitter.
either.
They can tag him on Twitter that he doesn't use anymore.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I won't see it. Have fun.
Appreciate it. As always, good stuff in the background.
No doubt. Thanks, guys.
Taylor Barnette joining us for his weekly visit. We thank him for taking the time to come on.
George, by the way, every 8-9 game is there 3 of them are 2-point lines and the other is a 1-point line.
8-9. That's what those are all about. The
crazy.
9 over the years has won 51% of those games. The 8 has won 49%.
Flip a coin.
Stay tuned. I'm going to shred all that. I got 2 winners for you when we come back on Plaster Bet of the Day.
Hey, thank you for meeting with me today. The insurance company has made an offer.
Already? Wow.
They've offered you the entire policy.
Thank you, Blair.
You're so welcome.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
This is my buddy and former Nashville Sounds PA announcer Eric Berner. I always laughed in the old days at Greer Stadium when I would walk in, Eric would immediately play my favorite song, Van Halen's Jump. But then I learned he actually has a real job with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors.
Yeah, George, that's what I do. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. Everybody's situation is different, so I use a customized and individualized, personalized approach to the person I'm working with. Old 401ks, retirement planning, insurance planning, inheritance planning. Those are things that people like to get some more information about.
One of the things I find is people don't even know where to start, and that's where you come in.
Yeah, so I can usually help people with an initial phone call or meeting that is a no charge and no obligation.
And I'll bet you have a phone number and a website.
I do, George. They can call me at 615-235-1058 or rockcastlewealth.com or Eric at rockcastlewealth.com.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service, growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to AlacoFineWoodFloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
Jody Jones has as nice a dental facility as you'll find anywhere. Let's go in and take a look.
Are you in the market for a new dentist? Maybe you're new to Nashville? Well, the place to go is Jody Jones Dentistry at 55 Music Square East, and their new facility is absolutely state-of-the-art. Jody mixes quality with comfort for the perfect dental experience. He's trusted for his creative design and committed to both the function and aesthetics of your smile. Jody is simply the total package. Don't wait. Make an appointment now at 615-259-5100.
Final segment on a Wednesday. It's time for Plaster's Bet of the Day, brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. They are lawyers that you can trust. Give them a call at 615-242-9000 or log on to bartdurham.com. All right, let's check out what happened last night for George as we go to Mississippi State and Vandy. Vandy defeated Yale 71-62.
No, did they?
This just in. And Mississippi State.
Vandy beat Yale? Okay.
And Mississippi State lost to Pitt. So 1-1 night.
Yes, they did. It's still a gaudy record. Not many people 11 over 500.
Gaudy.
So just because it bothers Watson, I'm going to give a little background.
Dissertation.
Harangue. I believe in the NCAA tournament that one of the things that causes upsets is when the favorite gets off to a poor start, down 10-2 at the first dead ball timeout, and panic starts to set in. Panic you don't feel from teams in the regular season, but it oftentimes happens in the NCAA tournament where all of a sudden somebody tries to do too much. There aren't any 8-point plays out there that'll tie the game like that. And I think that's a little bit of what goes on in the NCAA tournament that makes this the hardest betting thing out there. That said, to heck with what Watson thinks. We are going to overcome. We're going to do well in the tournament.
First game.
Well,
I think you got a standing ovation for that speech.
Yeah, the first game is tonight.
Arizona State or Nevada?
I just think Arizona State's better. Period.
Cambridge.
Yeah. If he has to hit a mid-quarter to win by 3, so be it. I just think they'll win this game. I think they're more athletic than Nevada. That's the NIT. No, excuse me. That's
First
the
four.
play-in game tonight in Dayton, and that's the late one. Should be over around 10:30 on True TV. Tomorrow morning, we're going to go with 2 early games. I'm not a West Virginia fan. They shouldn't have gotten in this tournament.
Really?
Look at their record. What was their record?
Yeah, but they're in the Big 12.
Yeah. What was their record?
19-14.
Okay. And in conference?
I think around 500.
Oh, I think it was below 500. Anyway, I think Maryland's a better team. They'll cover late on free throws. It'll be close, but Maryland is going to win this. And Watson, Missouri is being underrated. The team I saw last week is pretty doggone good. Good enough to beat Tennessee in what should have been a Tennessee home court. Good enough to get clobbered by Alabama. I just think Missouri's pretty good. And I think they'll give Utah State a lot of trouble athletically. 3 games there. We're going to go 2-1 at least.
Well, if you're going to go 2-1, then don't take the one you're going to lose.
Well, it's not that easy. It's not that simple.
Because
you don't know which one it's going to be.
Well, I want to make sure you did your due diligence. Did you spend as much time on each one of these 3 as you did Vanderbilt and Yale?
Not Missouri.
I don't.
Missouri was last minute.
I don't appreciate sort of the snide comments.
Snarky.
Look, that's what Vegas put the number at. What was I supposed to do?
Nothing. Just say this one's a joke. Vanderbilt's going to beat Yale. That's all you had to say. But you made it. You're putting
George
together, and you've got something that you've thought out that just makes this a great pick. I'm going, give me a break, man.
Yale didn't deserve to be on the same floor.
Yale was within 6 with a minute to play.
It was 9, and it could have been 29, and you know it. So don't even go.
Well, first of all, I don't know. I saw the end of it after the Preds game. I was supporting
you knew
another
within 10
home
minutes
team.
of the game that this you could have left and been fine with knowing who's going to win it.
See, you're bitter.
No, I'm not bitter at all. I'm just laughing at you to go through this dissertation on
the
a game
dissertation. The
you
dissertation
is probably
the right
the
word,
easiest pick
soliloquy.
you've had all year long so far.
The dissertation will be needed for Saturday morning, Vandy in Michigan. That's when you need the dissertation.
I believe Michigan, Vandy will open 3-point favorite.
Or that's at Nashville, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Here's
they
the thing.
reversed the
Juwan
seeding.
Howard and Jerry Stackhouse.
Here's the
Did
thing.
they
Hunter
reverse the
Dickinson.
seeding?
Do what?
Because I saw at first Michigan a 2 and Vanderbilt a 3. Did
So
they
it got
reverse
switched up. Yeah, they messed it up.
After you put it out, then you switch
Yeah,
it.
The NIT. I don't. Who runs the
good.
Who runs the
That's,
NIT?
that's awful.
Yeah, that didn't look good.
It don't look good at all.
Somebody went back and said,
Did
they
you
were
even
one
look
of
at
the-
this, guys?
Michigan has a really good center in Hunter Dickinson, and he will cause Vandy a lot of trouble. But the
Yeah,
rest of
he's
that,
really good.
the other 4, I think Vandy's considerably better. I think Vandy wins that game.
And they're at home. I mean,
Yeah, let's just go ahead and put that out there.
They haven't-
That'll be if the line is what I think it's going to be, 2.5 or 3. We'll take Vandy.
we're always dead wrong predicting Vandy lines, though. This will probably be Michigan.
Yeah, but
somehow.
I had Vandy against Kentucky.
You did.
I didn't get any credit for that. You didn't see Watson patting me on the back.
Yeah, I wasn't around to pat you on the back when you won.
Well,
that.
maybe you ought to work on Friday every once in a while.
Oh, God.
I don't get paid to work on Friday.
On that, I'll shut up.
You better be quiet. We'll leave it right there.
The show is over.
Gotta run.
Okay, tomorrow we want a bunch of you to join us out at Fordyce Center in Bellevue. They have on the second level, by the way, if you've never been there, the place is beautiful. On the second level is a sports bar with 8 televisions. So every game that you want to see will be on there.
Great food out there, too.
Very good food. We will be there 2 to 4 o'clock tomorrow, watching the games earlier. So come on out and join us. We'll see you then. Enjoy March Madness.